Welcome to yet another episode of The Daily Speaking Tree. In today's episode, we delve into the life of Sister Faustina, a nun wrestling with inner turmoils. She sought comfort in confession, but priests often couldn't grasp her extraordinary experiences. Thankfully, Father Andras and Father Sopochko provided some understanding. Even with challenges like limited knowledge, impatience, and dismissiveness, Sister Faustina's diary endures as a powerful testament to faith and perseverance. Her words hold the key to unlock a deeper understanding of divine mercy. Are you ready to join us as we explore the profound messages within Sister Faustina's diary? Let's dive in. Episode 21. When, in the midst of these interior torments, I tried to accuse myself in confession of the smallest trifles, the priest was surprised that I had not committed graver faults, and he said to me, "If you are as faithful as this to God during these sufferings, this in itself is an evidence to me that God is sustaining you with a special grace. And it is a good thing that you do not understand this. It is a strange thing, nevertheless, that confessors could neither understand me nor set my mind at peace concerning these matters until I met Father Andras and later on Father Sopochko. A few words about confession and confessors. I shall speak only of what I have experienced and gone through within my own soul. There are three things which hinder the soul from drawing profit from confession in these exceptional moments. The first, when the confessor has little knowledge of extraordinary ways and shows surprise if a soul discloses to him the great mysteries worked in it by God. Such surprise frightens a sensitive soul, and it notices that the confessor hesitates to give his opinion. And if it does notice this, it will not be set at peace, but will have even more doubts after confession than before, because it will sense that the confessor is trying to set it at peace while he himself is uncertain. Or else, as has happened to me, a confessor, unable to penetrate some of the soul's mysteries, refuses to hear the confession, showing a certain fear when the soul approaches the confessional. How can a soul in this state obtain peace in the confessional when it has become so oversensitive to every word of the priest? In my opinion, at times of such special trials sent by God to a soul, the priest, if he does not understand the soul, should direct it to some other experienced and well-instructed confessor. Or else, he himself should seek light in order to give the soul what it needs, instead of downrightly denying its confession. For in this way, he is exposing the soul to a great danger, and more than one soul may well leave the road along which God wanted it to journey. This is a matter of great importance, for I have experienced it myself. I myself began to waver despite special gifts from God, and even though God Himself reassured me, I have nevertheless always wanted to have the church seal as well. Second, the confessor does not allow the soul to express itself frankly and shows impatience. The soul then falls silent and does not say everything, and by this profits nothing. It profits even less when the confessor, without really knowing the soul, proceeds to put it to the test. Instead of helping the soul, he does it harm. The soul is aware that the confessor does not know it, because it did not allow it to lay itself open fully as regards both its graces and its misery. And so, the test is ill adapted. I have been submitted to some test at which I have had to laugh. I will express this better thus. The confessor is the doctor of the soul. But how can a doctor prescribe a suitable remedy if he does not know the nature of the sickness? Never will he be able to do so. For either the remedy will not produce the desired effect, or else it will be too strong and will aggravate the illness and sometimes, God forbid, even bring about death. I am speaking from my own experience because in certain instances, it was the Lord Himself who directly sustained me. Third thing, it also happens sometimes that the confessor makes light of little things. There is nothing little in the spiritual life. Sometimes a seemingly insignificant thing will disclose a matter of great consequence and will be for the confessor a beam of light which helps him to get to know the soul. Many spiritual undertones are concealed in little things. A magnificent building will never rise if you reject the insignificant bricks. God demands great purity of certain souls, and so He gives them a deeper knowledge of their own misery. Illuminated by light from on high, the soul can better know what pleases God and what does not. Sin depends upon the degree of knowledge and light that exists within the soul. The same is true of imperfections. Although the soul knows that it is only sin in the strict sense of the term, which pertains to the sacrament of penance, yet these petty things are of great importance to a soul which is tending to sanctity, and the confessor must not treat them lightly. The patience and the kindness of the confessor open the way to the innermost secrets of the soul. The soul, unconsciously as it were, reveals its abysmal depth and feels stronger and more resistant. It fights with greater courage and tries to do things better because it knows it must buy an account of them. I will mention one more thing regarding the confessor. It is his duty to occasionally put to the test, to try, to experience, to exercise, to learn whether he is dealing with a straw, with iron, or with pure gold. Each of these three types of souls needs different kinds of training. The confessor must, and this is absolutely necessary, form a clear judgment of each soul in order to know how heavy a burden it can carry at certain times, in certain circumstances, or in particular situations. As for myself, it was only later on, after many negative experiences, that I saw I was not understood. I no longer laid bare my soul or allowed my peace to be disturbed. But this happened only when all these graces had already been submitted to the judgment of a wise, well-instructed and experienced confessor. Now I know what to go by in certain cases. And again, I would like to say 3 words to the soul that is determined to strive for sanctity and to derive fruit, that is to say, benefit from confession. First, complete sincerity and openness. Even the holiest and the wisest confessor cannot forcibly pour into the soul what he desires if it is not sincere and open. An insincere, secretive soul risks great dangers in the spiritual life, and even the Lord Jesus Himself does not give Himself to such a soul on a higher level, because He knows it would derive no benefit from these special graces. Second, humility. A soul does not benefit as it should from the sacrament of confession if it is not humble. Pride keeps it in darkness. The soul neither knows how nor is it willing to probe with precision the depths of its own misery. It puts on a mask and avoids everything that might bring it recovery. Third, obedience. A disobedient soul will win no victory, even if the Lord Jesus Himself in person were to hear its confession. The most experienced confessor will be of no help whatsoever to such a soul. The disobedient soul exposes itself to great misfortunes. It will make no progress toward perfection, nor will it succeed in the spiritual life. God lavishes His graces most generously upon the soul, but it must be an obedient soul.
Ojcze przedwieczny, ofiaruję